Welcome to Trending Upward, and this is Chad Hayes. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Trending Upward, and I trust that the podcast today will be a help to you. It is my desire that the Word of God be used in such a way on this platform that it would be a help to you as you seek to trend upward. It is important that this life that we live be an ascending Christian life and not a descending Christian life. I trust it to be a help to you as you listen today. As we look at how Satan considers the saints of God, let's look at Job chapter 1 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? I have with me today probably my favorite book by Charles Spurgeon, and it's The Suffering of Man and the Sovereignty of God. It's 25 selected sermons from the book of Job. And I have read this book at times, and I've had to set it down, and I've had to chew on what is written and just meditate on it to then pick it up again. And it truly dives into some great depths into the book of Job and how Job suffered greatly, but yet there was a God in heaven who's in control. And we're looking today at how Satan considers the saints. And I want to read a little bit from this book to you and then break it down some for you. It cannot be said of him as of God that he knoweth us altogether. It's talking about Satan. But since he has been now nearly 6,000 years dealing with poor fallen humanity, he must have acquired a very vast experience in that time. And having been all over the earth, and having tempted the highest and the lowest, he must know exceedingly well what the springs of human action are, and how to play upon them. Satan watches and considers first of all our peculiar infirmities. He looks us up and down, just as I have seen a horse dealer do with a horse, and soon finds out wherein we are faulty. I, a common observer, might think the horse an exceedingly good one, as I see it running up and down the road, but the dealer sees what I cannot see. And he knows how to handle the creature just in such quarters and at such points that he soon discovers any hidden mischief. Satan knows how to look at us and reckon us from heel to head, so that he will say of this man, his infirmity is lust, or of that other he hath a quick temper, or of this other he is proud, or of that other he is slothful. The eye of malice is very quick to perceive a weakness, and the hand of enmity soon takes advantage of it. When the arch spy finds a weak place in the wall of our castle, he takes care to plant his battering ram and begin his siege. You may conceal even from your dearest friend your infirmity, but you will not conceal it from your worst enemy. He has lynx eyes, and detects in a moment the joint in your harness. He goes about with a match, and though you may think you have covered all the gunpowder of your heart, yet he knows how to find a crack to put his match through, and much mischief will he do, unless eternal mercy shall prevent. So as we look at how Satan considers the saints of God, we have to be reminded on a daily basis that the devil is observing us, that the devil is watching us. He's looking for faults within us. He's looking for our weaknesses. He wants to exploit those weaknesses. So what's the challenge today? The challenge is to identify our weaknesses. I trust you know today what your weaknesses are. I know what mine are. What are we doing to allow the Lord to perform the work in us for those weaknesses to no longer be weaknesses that the devil would exploit to the umpteenth degree, and allow those to become strengths, to be well fortified in those areas. I don't know about you, but sometimes in my life, I had to come to the place where I was just sick and tired of the devil exposing my weaknesses, of slipping in through the cracks of my armor, and exploiting those weaknesses. And you know what? Oftentimes it is through those situations in life that we learn to allow the Lord to fortify us in our areas of weakness, because the devil's looking. Just as a burglar, it cases out a place, a location, or a home, and it looks for the easiest way to get in. It looks for an area in the security system that would have a flaw, and they work on that. And the devil is that way. He is looking for areas in our life that he can get in and through to exploit us. As Spurgeon says, Satan knows how to look at us and reckon us up from heel to head, so that he will say of this man, his infirmity is lust. So once the devil identifies that one's infirmity is lust, what does he do? He seeks to exploit that in that person's life. Or Spurgeon says, or of that other, he hath a quick temper. So what does the devil do for the one that has a quick temper? He's going to put situations across their path. He's going to put people across their paths, because he wants this person that has a quick temper to end up losing their temper. We think also where Spurgeon says this, or of one, he is slothful. So what does the devil do in this case? He works to take advantage of and to exploit that slothfulness within a person, to where that person remains in their slothfulness. Spurgeon says, the eye of malice is very quick to perceive a weakness, and the hand of enmity soon takes advantage of it. And then notice this, when the arch spy finds a weak place in the wall of our castle, he takes care to plant his battering ram and begin his siege. So the devil is always watching you and I. Always. He's looking for weakness. He wants to exploit it. He wants to take advantage of it. He wants a little crack to be so big that it becomes so damaging to an individual. You know, in this same book, The Suffering of Man and the Sovereignty of God, Spurgeon also says this, beloved brother, the arch enemy wants to make you wretched here. If he cannot have you hereafter, and in this, no doubt, he is aiming a blow at the honor of God. He is well aware that mournful Christians often dishonor the faithfulness of God by mistrusting it. And he thinks if he can worry us until we no more believe in the constancy and goodness of the Lord, he shall have robbed God of his praise. He that offereth praise glorifieth me, says God. And so Satan lays the axe at the root of our praise, that God may cease to be glorified. And then Spurgeon says this about Satan. Moreover, if Satan cannot destroy a Christian, how often has he spoilt his usefulness? Many a believer has fallen, not to break his neck, that is impossible. But he has broken some important bone, and he has gone limping to his grave. We can recall with grief some men once eminent in the ranks of the church, who did run well. But on a sudden, through stress of temptation, they fell into sin, and their names were never mentioned in the church again, except with bated breath. Everybody thought and hoped they were saved so as by fire, but certainly their former usefulness never could return. You know, this is a sober reminder to us, to me also, that the devil is out to get me. The devil is out to get you. He is looking for whatever way he can to get in. You ever have the feeling that you're being watched? That maybe maybe you're in a crowded room and you just feel like eyes are upon you. You know, not to spook anybody, but we need to be reminded on a day-to-day basis that we are being observed by the enemies of God. On a daily basis, we're being observed. On a daily basis, the forces of hell are observing us. They're looking for weaknesses that they can exploit, that they can use against God, that they can use to attack God. And we need to be reminded of these things, because once the devil gets into a situation, without a doubt, it just brings whatever it is to complete ruin. And it's tragic, but at times it happens. So today we've been looking at how Satan considers the saints of God. We even remember through Peter, where the Lord told Peter that Satan hath desired to have you, to sift you as wheat. Satan wanted to separate Peter from Christ relationally. We believe in the doctrine of eternal security. Satan wasn't trying to separate Peter from Christ eternally by means of salvation, but relationally in fellowship. And you know what? For a season in Peter's life, Satan did. And we're looking at this some today as Satan considers the saints of God. He considers you, and he considers me. And he's looking us up, as Spurgeon says, from heel to head, to find any weakness, to find any blemish, because he wants to exploit it. I trust today you've been reminded to stay on guard and to identify your weaknesses and entrust them to Christ and allow Christ to make those strengths in your life. I'd like to thank you for listening today to Trending Upward. If it's been a help to you, I invite you to share this podcast with someone and help get the word out on how they too can trend upward in their walk with God.